In this section, we want to simulate Pulsus paradoxus or paradoxical pulse. As we mentioned, Pulsus paradoxus is seen in constrictive pericarditis and cardiac tamponade. Additionally, Pulsus paradoxus is also seen in patients with asthma and COPD because the right-sided pressure is high. Moreover, in patients with asthma and COPD, since their airways are narrowed, in order to get air into their lungs, they have to strain and exert more pressure on their respiratory system. For this reason, the diaphragm moves further downward, and the negative pressure created in the thorax becomes greater, which forces air into the lungs. This increase in negative pressure also leads to an increase in venous return. In other words, the venous return to the right side of the heart increases. The right ventricle becomes more distended, and the interventricular septum shifts further to the left, reducing the space in the left ventricle. Ultimately, this leads to a decrease in stroke volume, resulting in hypertension and Pulsus paradoxus. In patients with asthma and COPD, at this stage, we asked our colleague to simulate this Pulsus paradoxus. We asked the patient and our colleague to breathe through this straw. This straw is like the airways. This straw is like the airways of patients with asthma and COPD, which are very narrow, and when a person breathes through it, they are forced to take deeper breaths and generate greater inspiratory effort. Here you go. And to listen to the sound of the artery, in fact the brachial artery, and the same Korotkoff sounds, we use an arterial Doppler probe. This is an arterial Doppler, which plays the same Korotkoff sounds for us, and we can hear the sound wherever there is turbulence. Now, what do we expect? We expect that when the person breathes through the straw, a pulse will be generated. Therefore, we place the blood pressure cuff on the patient's arm and then deflate it. The first time the Korotkoff sound is heard will be during exhalation, and it disappears during inhalation, so we will hear it during exhalation. It disappears during inhalation and occurs intermittently, so the Korotkoff sound is heard intermittently. And we continue until we reach a value after which the Korotkoff sound, or the arterial sound that is transmitted, is heard continuously and constantly. And the time interval between when the Korotkoff sound is first heard intermittently until it becomes continuous is what we call Pulsus paradoxus. Now let's go ahead and test this. When you exhale, now take a breath. Yes, you can see when he breathes in. That means negative pressure is created. The sound disappears. When he exhales, breathe. What do? Here we will slowly deflate the sphygmomanometer cuff until what exactly happens? Continuous. Now it's become continuous. That means both during inhalation and exhalation, we hear the Korotkoff sound. So in practice, this is our paradoxical pulse. From 125 to 90, that is how many millimeters of mercury systolic? From 125 to 90, that's 35 millimeters. So in practice, our paradoxical pulse was 25 millimeters of mercury.